I'm going to add just a little bit of mustard. French mustard is ideal. A touch of vinegar is what you want. You can use vinegar or lemon juice. I'm going to put some lemon juice in to flavour this at the end. And then start to whisk this up. When you only want a small amount, I'm only going to create probably 2-3 portions of crab cakes. Making it by hand is just as quick, to be honest. Then you can pour in the oil. Now, I'm going to use some of this amazing rapeseed oil. The colour of this is fantastic with this gold leaf in it. I've never actually used this before. I've used gold leaf in cooking before, particularly when I was training as a young kid in London. We used to do 2 strawberries, one of them wrapped in gold leaf. 12 quid back then for 2 strawberries. We gradually pour the oil onto the yolks. Traditionally, mayonnaise would be made with veg oil, done exactly the same way. But once you master this sort of simple dressing, you can make other dressings too. Salad cream is made exactly the same way as I'm doing here, but instead of using raw egg yolks, it's done with hard-boiled egg yolks, whisked up with vinegar, and then finished off with some cream. And you can see the mixture. After only a couple of minutes, the whisking starts to thicken up. Now, the more oil you add, the thicker it gets. Using a whisk is more satisfying, I think, doing this by hand. You can, of course, do this in a machine if you want. Some salt and some pepper. What I'm going to do is just leave this in the fridge just to firm up a little bit. Meanwhile, I'll turn my attention to the crab cakes. Classic, really, Irish ingredients. Potato, spring onion, a little bit of chives for a touch of flavour, and some fantastic crab. So the first thing I'm going to do is take our spring onions for this and slice them up. So we've got our spring onions that can go into our potatoes. We do the same with our chives. And then we put this wonderful fresh white crab meat. Now, whenever you're doing any fish cakes or crab cakes, it's got to be equal quantities almost, potato to fish or crab. And then to bind it all together, you can take an egg yolk, throw that in. Plenty of black pepper, some salt, and I like to add just a little bit of lemon juice. And get your hands in. The problem is if you do this in a machine, everything just breaks up and the potatoes can go a little bit waxy. A lot of the moisture can come out of the potatoes as well. A quick bit of taste. Pretty good. And then, just with a little bit of flour on your hands, we can then scoop some of this mixture up and mould it up into these little cakes. Now remember, everything really, apart from the spring onion and the chives, the potatoes and the crab of course, are cooked. All you're really doing is just warming this through. So bear that in mind when you mould them and not make them too thick. Just like that are fine. Now you can store these in the fridge. You can even freeze these if you wanted to, and then thaw them out and cook them, because the cooking of it is really simple. You just want a hot pan on the stove, a little bit of oil. I'm going to use a little bit of olive oil for this one. You could of course use rapeseed oil. Just simply pan fry these. They're going to take about 2 to 3 minutes until they're nice and golden brown on one side. While they're cooking, we can just finish off this dressing really, just with a squeeze of lemon juice in there. And that's it, you've seasoned it, you don't need anything else. And all I'm going to do is just serve this with a bit of watercress. I love the pepperiness of watercress. It's kind of like the, I don't know, the British equivalent to roquette really. All we do now, turn these off. pop one on there. Another one. A nice few leaves of wonderful watercress. Really is lovely, this stuff. And then, of course, a nice dollop of rapeseed oil mayonnaise. And that's it really. You can serve it with a wedge of lemon if you wanted to, but I love it like it is. It's simple, but it's really tasty.